let me first throw out this first question is, what is going to happen February 26th?
Well, on February 26th, there's going to be a hearing in Yountville by the County Board of Supervisors and the Planning Commission. And their complete focus is going to be on Angwin and how that's going to relate to the general plan update in terms of how land can be used in Angwin specifically.
All right. Ladies, in layman's terms, no offense, President Osborn, in layman's terms, what does this mean?
Well, essentially what this means is that in the past, the last time that we got the students get together, we talked a lot about the Angwin urban bubble and what that meant, what we could do with our land, what we could build on it, if we sold it, what could happen to it. It's the same fight, basically, but this time it's different language being used. So instead of referring to the Angwin urban bubble, they're talking about zoning and creating a whole new type of title or specific zoning type for PUC's land in Angwin.
So the county would designate what terms and conditions PUC can do with its land. Is that how I take it?
Pretty much.
All right.
They would call it institutional zoning, which is a new designation that they've never used in the county before. And we would be the first ones to have it applied to us. And they basically would say the only thing you can do on your land is build new buildings for the college and houses for the faculty, and that's all you can do with it.
Now when you say institutional building, was it? Institutional building, does that mean just like, say, a college, or does that apply to other types of groups? It
would only apply to us.
Okay.
And it would only, what they'd basically say is you can only use that land for college purposes. You can't use that land, in other words, to build an endowment or to create assets that will help you be able to function more economically efficiently. And so it's just being applied to us. They may apply it in other years to others, but right now they're just looking at PUC.
All right. I think, Kylie, you had something you wanted to add?
Basically, what they're trying to do is we went and we took care of the problem, or we thought we did, but they've gone around and found another loophole, and they're trying
They being the county? Or the opposition?
The opposition.
Okay.
And it's not even finding a loophole, it's creating a loophole,
yeah, that's
a new loophole.
A better way of saying
Okay. Is that even legal? I mean, it doesn't seem like suddenly making up a new law it doesn't sound like that's right, first of all.
Well, they have pretty wide discretion in local government with zoning. There's a lot of leeway there. But it seems a little odd that they would only be applying this to a religious institution like PUC. There are 12 urban bubbles, and there's only one that they're focusing on. They're saying maybe in the future we'll do others. It almost, to me, sounds like religious discrimination, and that really, really bothers me a great deal. And I was talking this afternoon to the president of the Association of Independent California Colleges and Universities, Jonathan Brown. I have the privilege of being the chair of that organization now. And he saw the implications of this for a lot of colleges in California if this kind of thing begins to take place in other settings.
All right. That then begs the question, if we do not develop our land, what will become of PUC's future?
Well, as we've talked about in the past about, needing to use our land to sell or develop it for, to increase our endowment, if we don't create that security blanket, I know for us right now, we feel safe and secure and we're okay, but being part of PUC, it's not just about yourself. It's the community. It's those of you who have come before you, yourself, and those who will come in the future. And so as being part of an active group and politics of PUC, you have to really care about other people, and that includes the people coming before us, which means we need to protect this PUC for people who are coming in the future. If we don't have the endowment, there won't be enough money to give scholarships for people who may not have the funding to attend such a school as ours.
All right. So this isn't just about our survival, it's about the survival of the institution. All right.
As far as prices for college go, it gets more expensive every year, and enrollment sometimes seems to be going down, especially with You've mentioned that enrollment, we were thinking it might be going down. And the last thing that we need is the price to be going up, which makes it more difficult for college students to come here. And I really don't want to graduate from here and then have the college that I went to be gone
Closed.
in, like, I don't know how long. But that kind of, it really makes your degree seem even
What does that say about the
pointless.
integrity of your education
Yeah,
when
it's
those running it couldn't maintain it?
It's like there's an impending doom about the whole thing.
Yes.
Well, and most colleges are relying on endowments now, private colleges. It's the way that private colleges have to survive. And this is what some of the older people in this community don't understand. The whole economics of these students and you being able to afford an education has changed. You're having to borrow more and more money to come to a college like this. And an endowment creates interest that enables us to give more scholarships. And that's why our college is 82% dependent on our tuition, compared to many colleges that are only in the 60s. And the reason they make up the difference is from their investments on their endowment. So that's why this is so crucial for the future. We still have a very strong education program, and it's been very excellent. We've been able to do that. But as these young ladies have been saying, we need to look to the future and anticipate what's happening. And it's happening at an accelerating rate. 34% of our freshman class this year came from families that made less than $50,000 a year. And our costs are $28,000 a year. Now, those students are eligible for Cal Grants and that kind of thing, which is a really great blessing in California. But we have to increasingly find other funds to make it possible. And the way private colleges, independent colleges do that is by using their assets and increasing their endowment.
All right. Now, you talked about using stuff, and you talked about community, and I'm wondering what can the average busy student do? This is midterms right now for our winter quarter, and it seems almost daunting that there's so much that needs to be done. What kind of things can a student contribute?
Well, I think the most important thing right now is your voice. Like what you tell other people, what you share with other people, letting the supervisors know how you really feel. Like, I mean, you can take 5-10 minutes just to send an email to the supervisors to let you know how you feel. That's not that much time. You know, we spend that much time surfing the web, checking our email, finding clips on YouTube, and this is spending that time to do a really good thing for yourself, essentially, because it's for the college that you attend.
Our faculty and staff voted to close the college on February 26th, the day of this hearing, from 8 a.m. until 1 p.m., hoping that, again, the students will realize how serious this is and will go down. We know it's hard to motivate people to go 2 times because it seems like if you call wolf too many times, then people say, oh, they're just doing it again. This, every time, it's even more serious this time. So our faculty voted 42-8 to close school, and our staff 52-1 to do that. And that's a big thing for faculty because the quarter system goes so rapidly and there's so much content to cover. But like some of the math teachers that are very sequential and they have 4 days of class a week, they said this is really going to hurt us. But what will hurt even more is if what's being proposed happens. And this is one time that we're going to have to make an exception to our normal practice of never wanting to miss class because it is so important.
Yeah, the long-term effects outweigh the short-term.
Right.
All right.
It's also important to note that, like, the last time we did this, it was a discussion about the Angwin urban bubble, and we did go full force, and we got that taken care of. They kind of, okay, you can keep the bubble. We're not going to interfere with that. And now the reason we're doing it again is because they found and they created a new loophole with the institutional zoning, and February 26th is the last meeting before they actually vote on it again to say whether or not they're going to implement that. That's why it's so important that everyone really does attend on that day so that they can really hear us.
But the more emails, as you said, the more that we can do ahead of time before going, we'll communicate the need.
It's even more powerful, yeah.
And there's a really easy way to get those email addresses. You can go to the PUC website, puc.edu, and there's a thing there that talks about the land development. You just click that on, and they're listed right there, and all you have to do is click on the name of a supervisor, and it goes. And you can send your message. So it's very easy. You don't have to look up any addresses.
Thank you for tuning in. Remember, this can only happen with your help.